And the beat goes on, yeah. Hot Jobs LA, back to school edition. Because I got to go back to fucking school tomorrow. And sober edition as well. Because I'm trying to cut back on my drinking strictly for caloric intake reasons. I'll be back soon. Welcome to the show. My boy, Bunk 57 Low. No one can see you. Joe Steele. What's the word?
Oh, man. Same old same, man. That's another day. Happy to be here.
Haven't seen you in a while. I haven't been on the show.
Man, I've been around. I've just been trying to, stay in shape, run, catch a couple footballs.
Playing flag football, right?
Yeah.
How'd you do last week?
Last week we had a bye. We had a bye last week. Then the week before that, I hurt myself, man.
You hurt yourself? Would you pull a groin or something?
No. I dropped the most easiest catch in America, and we ended up losing.
Because of that?
And to me, yeah. I feel if I catch that, it changes the whole outlook of the game, but I didn't. So now I got 2 games tonight, and I got to redeem myself against the team I used to play with.
Some animosity, some bad blood?
Oh, yeah, a whole bunch because they couldn't get me the ball. Now I'm on another
you
team.
You left? Throw me the damn ball, so you took off on the squad?
Yeah. When I ain't get the ball, man, you throw 8 for 22, and you only – 3 of your passes is completed to me. You throw 3 interceptions. If I did the math, it's horrible. I had to leave. I had like Tony Romo on my team in the playoffs.
Tony Romo puts up numbers.
Yeah, only in November?
Yeah, well, speaking of which, I just went to the Cowboys training camp.
Oh, how was that?
Drove all the way out there to Oxnard. First of all, I didn't realize how freaking far away Oxnard is. It's a hike, kid.
Right.
About the 405 and the 101, whatever that means. It's terrible over there. But that being said, it was a good time, my boy. He's been on the show, Brian Ingalls. Got us onto the field. So I was right there on the field for practice because my boy works for him.
Must be nice.
Yeah, it was nice, but I overstepped my bounds, and I really got, into the sideline. My boy turned his head for a minute, and I kind of took off on him. And I went because I knew someone, Michael Robinson, fullback for the former fullback.
Penn State, right?
Yeah, I was quarterback at Penn State. I worked with him. I snuck over there to talk to him, but I got in trouble because I wasn't supposed to be over there. But I really wasn't in trouble.
Did you guys link up? Did you catch up?
Yeah, I said hi to him. He remembered me, of course. Okay. He's retired, done. Not playing anymore. So he's done. 8 years in the league. 30 years old, quarterback to fullback. You don't see that happen very often. Got to go from quarterback. You see, there's been a couple guys, none come off the top of my head, but had a great career. Super Bowl champion, for crying out loud.
Mm-hmm.
But too bad, I should have taken you. I should have called you and brought your son up there because you could get all the autographs where I was.
Right.
It's amazing. Thousands, 10,000 people at least to watch, and they're all lined up on a fence. And check it out. I felt kind of bad because there's 2 fields, right, side-by-side fields, and the Cowboys would practice on the far field when the fans would be lined up on the fence, so there'd be a football field in between.
Yeah, okay.
And there's thousands of people just lined up, shoulder to shoulder, jamming up against the fence to watch it. I couldn't believe it. To me, it'd be the most least fun thing to do is stand in a ring and a bunch of Cowboy fans, Southern California Cowboy fans. And I felt bad because right after practice, my boy's like, "Oh, you want to get pictures of these guys?" And I'm 38 years old, man. I don't even be freaking wearing 25-year-old kids, sniffing their shoulder pads and shit. I've been around football enough. It's cool to see the guys, but I'm not going to go get pictures and shit like that. That's just not my style,
all
man.
the Cowboys fans, they all go there because that's the only time when they win.
Well, they don't lose. I don't think they're going to be good this year either.
We play them the first game.
San Francisco?
Thank you.
Really? Where? In San Fran?
I believe we're going out there.
To Dallas?
I believe we're going out there.
Well, I'm telling you, they're saying Romo didn't practice the practice I was at. And they're saying he's still feeling that back. I didn't realize how thick he is, though.
You haven't noticed that disease goes through a lot of the starters?
What?
That disease where they just don't feel good for preseason or practice.
Well, I think that's a lot of that stuff is overrated, especially for running backs. Just tell them where the damn hole is. Keep them healthy. You know what I mean? And, Marshawn Lynch just ended his holdout, but...
Mm-hmm. But that only hurts. That holding out that they do and that non-practice or non-playing in preseason only hurts the fantasy players, like the coaches. because we don't know what they're going to do this season. They got backups coming behind.
I thought you fantasy people refer to yourself as general managers and not coaches.
Hey. I'm a coach. I have to make some crucial decisions.
Yeah, more on the player personnel end, but regardless, Tony Romo didn't practice. Jerry Jones wasn't there. But you see those pictures that came out of Jerry Jones this week?
Oh, on the move?
No, I don't know what that means, but he looked hammered, and it was these girls couldn't be any older than 24, 23 in lewd positions with them. You know what I mean? One girl was down. Wasn't really sucking him off or anything, but was down in that area, just like posing and shit. Very lewd pictures, and they were going to try to blackmail him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it came out, I don't know, and he didn't get blackmailed. Or I don't know the story very well, but it's they say Jerry still gets after it. Hey. Jerry, he's like 71 years old, and he's out chasing it.
Viagra.
I don't even have a libido. I'm, half that age, and my libido isn't. I just want to put out the effort that something like, take for something like Jerry Jones. Of course, I met the heir to the throne. One of his granddaughters, my boy was telling me, he's going to take over the team in a few years, and she's got to be 16, and she was limping around in a boot. She just fallen off an ATV vehicle and broke her foot.
Must be nice.
Must be nice. What, breaking your foot in an ATV vehicle, or having
the ATV to break your foot,
and knowing the Cowboys are going to be yours in a
few years.
In a few years, after a couple more seasons of 8-8, if that.
Yeah.
I don't. I think they're in trouble this year.
Yeah, I don't know. I ain't never. They in trouble week 1. I can tell you that much.
They can't play defense. That's been their problem.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
Romo's all right. He really is. I think he gets a bad rep.
I like him. To be honest with you, as long as he can keep getting Des Bryant the ball, we're gonna be all right.
DeMarco Murray, he's a big fella too. They're all big in their ways, but DeMarco Murray, he's a good back.
You can't. I mean, their offense is good. Jason Witten.
Yep.
There's just a lot of things they got, but the only thing they don't got is defense.
Yeah, that's for sure. And when you lose a guy like DeMarcus Ware,
yeah, over in Denver now, right?
That doesn't help. Yeah, which is a good fit for him. Denver's going to be really good. Got a chance to watch preseason. But shit, the season's on us now. My addiction is full-blown back in.
Yeah, that happened.
Spent all day yesterday. Part of me loves it, but part of me feels like a freaking slug sitting around watching games all day. And then in a few weeks, it's going to be Saturday and Sunday.
Right.
And Friday night.
I don't have a problem with it at all.
You don't?
At all.
No, I feel lazy. I feel lazy sometimes doing it. Like, enough is enough. That's why I come out here and do this show. Like, get me out of the house for a minute. Come out here and drop them knowledge on my 3 fans. Every team in the league played in the last few days. A couple standouts. I liked watching that Philly-Chicago game. I'm telling you, both those teams can score points, and they did in the preseason. I don't know. I'm one of those guys. I like the preseason. I like watching preseason football. I don't think you do. Why not?
I don't, because I want my team to win. And when I got blowed out by 20 to the Super Bowl team that we played last year, I had a grudge. And I think we need to win everything. And they don't put out the best players.
Well, that's just one. Yeah, they don't put out the best players, but you get to see a lot of guys play. And that's one of the things I like about it. You see guys get opportunities. And to me, and I think you agree with this, so much of playing in that league is about getting an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
It brings me, watching that Philly game, Mark Sanchez went out there for Philly and looked pretty good. For Chicago, Jimmy Clausen. I mean, Jimmy Clausen's a guy I think could still be a good NFL quarterback. People look at you like you're crazy. But you look at Jimmy Clausen played 1 year, his rookie year. Okay, first of all, statistically, he's by far the greatest high school quarterback of all time, which you say might not mean anything, but I think talent is talent. I don't think you can be the best high school player around and then, have a good college career like Jimmy Clausen did. He had a solid career at Notre Dame, and then all of a sudden his skills just drop and don't translate to that quote-unquote next level.
It's politics up there.
It is. It's a lot of politics. And in opportunity, what happened with Clausen, he played as a rookie, didn't play very well, and then hurt his shoulder pretty bad, and then they would turn around and drafted Cam Newton. And that's it. He's been sitting.
It's over with.
He's been sitting up in Carolina, because Cam Newton's a freak athlete. He's one of the best athletes in a league full of athletes. Cam Newton's one of the best athletes.
Right.
So now Jimmy Clausen sits, and people love to throw that bust word out, man. People are like vultures. Oh, he's a bust. He's a bust. He's a bust. But really, you look at the quote unquote guys who turn out to be busts. A lot of times it's because they're mentally weak or addicted to drugs or get hurt.
I can pick one right now that will work in anybody's football season that's considered a bust right now that's not playing, that has neither one of those.
Okay, go.
Florida.
Florida what?
Tim Tebow.
Oh, Tim Tebow? Yeah. Okay, that's fair. But he was a unique system in Florida that really took, he's like, in a way, he was like an option quarterback. Mm-hmm. And I still say, and I'll friggin' say it again, if Urban Meyer was a coach in the pros and had Tim Tebow, and Urban Meyer just came out the other day, he still was one of the few people, myself included, that thinks that Tebow could actually be okay in the pros. It's just that they ask him to do things he can't do. And that's a problem. But yeah, I will give you that. But my point being, if Urban Meyer was a head coach of an NFL team and brought Tim Tebow in and ran his system, which can fucking work in the NFL. I don't care what anyone says. Man, everybody's running some kind of zone option.
Right now.
It's working right now. Any fool that says the zone read doesn't work, zone option doesn't work is a fool. Mm-hmm. But Tim Tebow plays. I think he could be all right. The guy's a freaking athlete. He can't drop back and throw the ball, 40 times. I'll give you that. His completion percentage is good. But he can pound the ball. He can run the ball. Speaking of running the ball, the quarterback position, Johnny Football. Finally, Johnny Football has returned. Well, he didn't come anywhere, but has there ever been anybody more scrutinized as a rookie? And especially in this ultra, hyper media, myself is somewhat loosely included. We talk about every single thing that Johnny Manziel does. But that being said, he looks freaking great the other night. He looked just like he did in college. Mm-hmm. He was putting the ball where he needed to put the ball. As soon as the pass rush broke down, he was out the gate.
Mobile.
But here is the knock. Here's Chris. He's going to be a playmaker. Got out, made some first downs with his feet. People are like, oh, they're going to catch him in the NFL. Lies. Guy's just fucking fast. But here's the problem, and it already showed its ugly head. He looked like he got dinged up a little bit. They were checking those ribs.
He gonna feel some knots and bruises, man. This is a different league. They prey on the hit.
Well, he felt it in college too. He got. Look, they're freaking some killers in the SEC too. Okay, I don't know why people. I know pros are pros, no doubt about it. But it's not like the SEC. The sisters of the poor. They're coming out too. But yeah, he's gonna be. His durability is going to come into question. He's not going to have a long career.
It depends.
Yeah.
Because if you look at that one, what was it, 16 or 19 he ran for, he slid.
Yeah.
He had the mentality to get down.
Yeah.
Now, if he don't learn that, it can get ugly.
Well, they say by all accounts, his football IQ is through the roof. You know what I mean? Like they say, like LeBron's NBA IQ is through the roof.
Well, he says Kevin Love's IQ is through the roof.
They're seeing, switch gears, we'll talk a little basketball because we have to. You seeing the NBA saying they're going to block that trade, that Kevin Love trade?
No.
As of today? Yeah, because Kevin Love went and supposedly his people worked out a contract with Cleveland for an extension, which is against the rules. I don't know. I bet you they work something out, though. I don't care what anyone says, though. If Love does end up on Cleveland, they're gonna. Chicago's pretty good, though. I take that back. But Chicago
they're gonna push real
Chicago
close.
will battle them, but there's only 4 teams in the NBA. There's 32 in the NFL. Damn it, only really 6 of them matter. Well, that extra shot. I take that back. I've been saying that there's only a few teams. I see a few teams that might be able to do something this year. It might come out of nowhere, but I don't know. Philly being one of them. Philly being a team. Chicago being all right.
I see the Bills.
You see the Bills. I watched a little bit of the Bills playing that actually, the Bills have played twice.
Right.
They played in that Hall of Fame game, and then they played another game. They played against Carolina. They beat Carolina, and they lost to the Giants, the Hall of Fame game.
And over there, who was it? Rashard Jennings looking real good.
Oh, there's so many good running backs. Every team in the NFL has a 5 deep running backs. Like I was looking at Washington the other day. Obviously they got Alfred Morris, a big time back. Ray Hulu's a back, but they also got Roy. Thank you, Helu. But they also got studs like Evan Royster, former Penn State back, really good running back. Another Penn State back, Silas Red. Well, actually ended up transferring out here to SC. But another kid is super talented. Lachey Seastrunk, the guy from Baylor.
That one.
That kid can go too. You know what I'm saying? It seems like every team's rolling out 4 and 5 running backs. And that's why you saw it this year as a residual effect. How many running backs were in the first round this year? I'll give you the hint, 0. Because it's just a glut of them. So many athletes out there, and they're training so hot. The training methods are so different. Mm-hmm. Even the quarterbacks. Now you're really seeing the era of these quarterbacks come in, and they've all been running 7-on-7 shit since they were 11 years old.
Do you know who's on the cover of Madden this year?
Who's on the cover of Madden? Your boy Sherman, isn't it? Didn't they make a big deal out here? You didn't come out here and see it?
Did you see him on there? Man, that made me proud.
What do you mean it made you proud?
Just to see him, man, because he rose. He did his thing, and he backed it up. I'm a Niner fan. I don't like the Seahawks.
I was going to say, wait a minute. You're a Niner fan.
For him, I respect him for right now. See if he does like all other corners do, have a big year and fall off the next.
I tell you, the Seahawks looked good, as always, to be expected. But I think this new – have you been watching the point of emphasis – on, because of the Legion of Boom and they did for the Patriots, the defensive holding penalties? They're calling it tighter now. And I think that's going to hurt teams like Seattle. And I think it's going to hurt the game, to be honest with you. Because now it's, it's going to be pass interference or defensive holding or illegal contact, rather.
That's not a part of the game.
What do you mean it's not a part of the game?
Well, get better. Be able to stay. Don't get the grabbing and snatching.
Oh, man. You're talking strictly from a wide receiver perspective.
Okay.
Which is a very narrow view. And I'll say ignorant point of view as well.
The best position on the field.
Oh, boy. If I could get rid of all wide receivers and replace them with running backs, I would.
Why would you do something like that?
Because running backs are tougher.
Oh, but we make the big plays when they count.
Well, yeah, that's true. You got to get the big receivers. Guys like Calvin Benjamin, he's going to have a good career.
Look good. Stumbled in the route and still found a way to make the play.
Yeah, and there's a guy, he's a can't miss type guy, Josh
for Cam Newton, too?
Yeah. Oh, Cam Newton's a player. I mean, Carolina is a team
that's going to get a lot of people.
That, could upset someone, that could sneak in and do well. Of course, everything, these hypotheticals, the season, so much shit happens in the course of a season. So many things you'd have no idea to sit here and predict can happen in the course of a season, who stays healthy. But Carolina's a team that definitely could, because they play defense as well. I tell you, people snoozing the Jets, too. People like to shit on the Jets. I like to shit on the Jets, too, but I do respect Rex Ryan, and that defense is going to be good. And I'm telling you, Geno Smith can play, and Mike Vick, if you package him well and have, certain 8 plays for Mike Vick, have him come in and run them, that shit can work.
I agree with your thoughts you had earlier. Mike Vick always does good the first 6 games of every season.
Yeah, and he gets hurt.
Right. So I think you split the time to spread out Mike Vick's duration through the season and let Geno, just like you said, you had a good point.
Hey, thanks. People automatically should say, oh, that doesn't work, that doesn't work. I don't really agree. I think that's conventional wisdom that doesn't work. I think you can use 2 quarterbacks. When has anybody done it and not worked? Or, you know what I mean? What's the example? Has it been a disaster before? I've never really seen that. If you package a certain plays, okay, you're going in for this 1 or 2 series, and, it's going to throw off the rhythm. It's not like baseball, the pitcher.
It works until the media gets a hold of you.
Yeah, and the media will just crucify it.
As soon as the media gets a hold of it, it's over.
And as soon as it doesn't work, once.
It was working for us. With Colin Kaepernick and Alex Smith. We had Alex Smith show up. Then they made the controversy of Alex being a bench player. And, things changed. And Alex ends up going to Kansas City and puts together a long streak of undefeated.
But my point being, and Rex Ryan, a football mind I respect, he makes a commitment to the Wildcat, quote unquote. It's why they tried doing it with Tebow. It became a circus, because everything he did was scrutinized. But they do the same thing with Mike Vick. Look out. Jets could be tough. They're going to play defense. They're going to pound the rock. Who knows what Chris Johnson can do? I think Seattle could do the same thing with Terrell Pryor. That would be interesting. I tell you, if something happens with Russell Wilson, I would really like to see Terrell Pryor get a shot with Seattle.
I don't know, man. I don't know. That's putting
obviously
a lot on his back.
Obviously, he's no Russell.
Right.
Yeah, but
because that offense is geared strictly for Russell. It is his Pryor's type.
Yeah, it's a guy who can get outside the pocket, play action. Move him.
I don't think his mental is enough ready for that kind of, coming off the Super Bowl win, replacing the Russell Wilson. The media get a hold of him. He's already young mentality. They're going to get him.
Bust. Terrell Pryor. Everyone throwing out the bust. I got an argument with the guy the other day. Would you consider Vince Young a bust? I said no. I said no. I don't mean he didn't have a stellar NFL career, and if you look at his stats, they'd probably be skewed. I think he's thrown more interceptions than touchdowns, but he's a 2-time Pro Bowler. Doesn't that mean anything?
Where you did it at is the reason why you're a Pro Bowler. What
do you mean?
When he did it in Tennessee, he didn't have too much. You know what I mean? He's a standout over there.
Yeah, but it's not like the NBA where you got to get one player on each team, if I'm not mistaken. But my point is, 2-time Pro Bowler, Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year, 2006, 2009 Comeback Player of the Year. Is that really a bust if you're an All-Star a couple times? That's all my point is.
You're considered a bust if you don't get a Super Bowl. That's what,
really?
That's what they're saying it as.
Yeah, well, they just loved it. People just salivate using that word.
If you can use all those things, he's Rookie of the Year, playoff. He goes to the All-Star game.
Yeah, well, like I said, granted, he didn't have a great NFL career, but he did some things. But there's another guy, circumstantially. If he was putting the read option, nobody was using that in 2006, 2009. And teams have only been using that in the last 2-3 years. My point is, if you used Vince Young correctly, I don't think he was ever really used correctly. So much of it is circumstance. If you use him like they did at Texas, get him out. And the guy ran for freaking, 4 touchdowns in the Rose Bowl? Well, granted, it's college.
Yeah. Excuse me. Don't bring that back up. But anyways, the reason, remember when he was coming into the draft, they was always saying, would he fit into a pro-style offense?
Right.
It's about being drafted by the right people and putting that offense that you ran in college, the reason why we picked you into this system. If you can do that, not everybody's a Tom Brady and you can sit back and watch and look over the field at Michigan and see, angles and, places. It's not no more. It's not the era of that quarterback anymore.
Right. Well, I think finally, and it's only been in the last 2-3 years, that coaches are, starting to adapt and stop trying to make, fitting square pegs in round holes with these quarterbacks. Why you get these guys and ask them to do things they can't do? And at the same point as Tebow, Tebow's not going to sit back and like you said, like